G'day, dudes and dudettes in YouTube land. Taz Tiger Gaming here, coming to you today with a Ark Survival Evolved video. This video is going to be about the northeast cave. Now, if you have a tribe of a lot of people to give you a hand to go down into this cave, it's probably not going to be a useful video. But for you that only play single player or a couple of players, then this will most certainly help you out. So we'll start today with the cave location. So we'll have a look at the map here. There we can see the little marker showing you where I am at the moment. That's the island that you need to get to. Some people say fly, etc. What we do is we swim. So we swim from that island there all the way to this little island where you can see the supply drop there, and we basically run across the shoreline over to just near that little island there as well, and that's basically where the cave entrance is. So we'll head down there and I'll show you a bit more of what we've got set up. As you can see down there, we do have two alpha carnies. Before the alphas were brought into the game, this was a difficult task to start with. Now these guys are running around, it makes it even harder for resources, etc. But we won't go into that right at the moment. We'll try to scoot through this video without drawing any of these guys' attention. So we'll see you down at the cave entrance, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so here you can see we're at the cave entrance location now. You might note that we have built a small base or camp here, including Dino Gate. First of all, these fences should be much higher than this, but it is just me and my fiance playing on this server. So things here could be done much better than they are at the moment. If you wanted to do so. For example, your base could be made out of metal, especially with the alpha carnos running around. That's not a bad idea at all. Inside the base isn't overly important. Yes, I understand that this is a terrible base. We wasn't planning on being here for so long, but we did run into a lot of difficulties trying to get the coming up with different strategies on trying to get the artifact. Eventually coming up with one which basically doesn't need any of this stuff. But it doesn't hurt to have things here to help you along the way as you're building and constructing. Also somewhere nice and warm to sit when the weather gets bad, because it does get quite cold on these islands. So without going into this side of things too much more than that, we'll head down into the cave itself. My fiance there is napping on the job. Now when we come down here, we do have some backup beds. Coming down to this cave, prepare to die a lot. Now you could have all sleeping bags, all beds, but personally between the two of us we have 4 beds and 2 backup sleeping bags just in case. They just come out of supply drops when we was heading over here. Now we dive down through this hole. And back out. Now we have tried here in the past to build a few things here, but generally speaking the bats come in and destroy it, or you go away and come back and they're just gone. So probably not real good to build here. We did put walls and a doorway and all that there to keep the bats out, and that still didn't seem to work. So I wouldn't waste your time too much on that. So we'll stop the video just there for a second. We'll have a pause and then we'll go into some of the setup for the cave before we go down and do our run. Right, now with the cave setup we have a few things to run through. First thing is you can come down here with armor and weapons and blood bags and food, but I prefer to come down here with absolutely nothing on me whatsoever. Unless apart from the bare essentials. So if you're doing some building, then bring a little bit of building materials down at a time, build what you need, and then go out and get more. Now another thing to run through here is there's actually 2 ways to get down to the artifact. You'll notice a big jump there. That is one way down, and that is also the quickest way down. There is another way around the outside of the cave, which is the way that we come back up out of the cave. So we'll go and show you the little bridges that we make over some of the jumps next. So here you can see the first bridge that we've made. It does pay to make it out of wood rather than thatch, because thatch can break much easier than wood. Now what I prefer to do when I first come down here is to jump over the gap, place a foundation down on the other side, and then a ramp coming down, and it sort of just blends in with the bottom stone, so it makes it nice and easy to run up and down these. Now you can build these all the way to the bottom, but we've only gone a bit over halfway, I'd say. So here again, there's another one, and another one there. And another one here. That bat's chasing me, but we'll probably lose him in a minute. Now there's no cheats or hacks here, it's all on normal settings. We did have a play at trying to eliminate the bats to start with, but we wasn't successful there in doing that. It's another ramp. Some of these guys were actually built from the opposite side to the way I just explained. Now it doesn't pay to fight the bats. You don't generally win. We have died several times trying to fight them on the way down, but it's best just to keep away from them, basically. They do eventually just lose interest. Again, if you had 7 or 8 people in your tribe, then there'd be no problem at all in just coming down here, eliminating absolutely everything, and getting the artifact and then leaving. But it is quite difficult to do with a low amount of people. Now you can see that there is a ton of scorpions and spiders there, but generally speaking, that if you just keep away from them, they won't bother you. Now one thing that I didn't mention on the way down, which was a bit hard to at the time, but there is a metal stone there right at the bottom of the cave. Now that will need to be removed before you'll be able to get back up out of the cave. That can entail a suicide run. In most cases you'll run down there and remove the rock and then die, and then have to run back down to actually retrieve the artifact. But you might be lucky and be able to get down and get back out without dying. Now that's the way we come down. This is the way we're going to go out. Oh no, sorry, that's not the way that we went down. We did go down this way, but I'll show you another way that you can get down a little bit quicker in just a moment, and the way that we normally go down. So I'm about dead here, but I'll show you anyway. I've got the artifact, yes, but we have lots of artifacts, so if I die it's not the end of the world. Now I've got a broken leg. Okay, so the broken leg's all fixed now, so we'll do a quick speed run down and back up, and show you guys how we get it done. this is going to be close. Okay, that's the way we come down. And again, just like the last clip, this is how we get back out. Bats are right on my tail. Don't probably want to stick around for too long. And there you have it. A quick guide at how to conquer the northeast cave. No, no.